Welcome to everyone in 55th edition of Uddan Live. In the plan of Little Magazine Uddan, 9 of the 7 countries of the world are involved in International Poetry Festival. I am Tawfiq Zohur. As a host, I declare 9 names of 9 honorable selected poets today. First of all, I want to introduce Mr. Golam Kibria Pinu. Here is present Mr. Golam Kibria Pinu. He is a very important poet, essayist, critics. He is the generation of 80s. He has published 27 number of books. He got a lot of prestigious awards from different platforms of literature around the world. He is from Bangladesh. Now coming Mr. Golam Kibria Pinu to read out his first poem. Mr. Golam Kibria Pinu.
Thanks to all, mainly honorable poets and our viewers. First, I would like to read one poem in Bangla. কবিতার শিরোনাম আকাশ প্রান্ত নিয়ে বাঁচে না। সুড়ঙ্গ থেকে বের হয়ে দাঁড়িয়েছে মানুষ, তাকে আবার সুড়ঙ্গে ঢোকানো হচ্ছে কেন? গুহা থেকে বের হয়ে দাঁড়িয়েছে মানুষ, তাকে আবার গুহার ভিতর ঢোকানো হচ্ছে কেন? ক্ষোভ থেকে বের হয়ে দাঁড়িয়েছে মানুষ, তাকে আবার খোপে খোপে ঢোকানো হচ্ছে কেন? পোড়া বাড়ি থেকে বের হয়ে দাঁড়িয়েছে মানুষ, তাকে আবারও পোড়া বাড়ির ভেতর ঢোকানো হচ্ছে কেন? দাঁত লাগা অবস্থা থেকে বের হয়ে দাঁড়িয়েছে মানুষ, তাকে আবারও দাঁত লাগা পরিবেশে ঢুকানো হচ্ছে কেন? গণ্ডকূপের শব্দহীনতা থেকে বের হয়ে দাঁড়িয়েছে মানুষ, তাকে আবারও শব্দহীনতার ভেতর ঢোকানো হচ্ছে কেন? মিথ্যে হয়ে যাবে এতদিনের সূর্য আলোক নিয়ে বাঁচা, মিথ্যে হয়ে যাবে এতদিনের আকাশ প্রান্ত নিয়ে বাঁচা, মিথ্যে হয়ে যাবে এতদিনের ঘন বিথি নিয়ে বাঁচা, মিথ্যে হয়ে যাবে এতদিনের কল্লোলিনী নিয়ে বাঁচা, মিথ্যে হয়ে যাবে এতদিনের ঝুলন পূর্ণিমা নিয়ে বাঁচা, মিথ্যে হয়ে যাবে এতদিনের নবীনতা নিয়ে বাঁচা, মিথ্যে হয়ে যাবে এতদিনের প্রাণশক্তি নিয়ে বাঁচা, মিথ্যে হয়ে যাবে এতদিনের বোধ ভাষ্যি নিয়ে বাঁচা। আমরা তো বেঁচেছি অবলুপ্তি থেকে, দুর্বিপাক ও মহাপ্রলয়ে পড়ার পরও আমরা তো বেঁচেছি মৃত্যু শয্যা থেকে, অন্তিম দশায় মর্গে থাকার পরও আমরা তো বেঁচেছি ভৌতিকতা থেকে, জ্ঞান শূন্য পাথুরে মাটিতে পরিণত হওয়ার পরও আমরা কি ছেড়ে দেব মানুষ খেকোর কাছে আমাদের শিশু সন্তানদের? আমরা কি ছেড়ে দেব অন্ধ ঠাট্টু ঘোড়ার কাছে আমাদের মাঠ ও প্রান্তর? আমরা কি ছেড়ে দেব বুনো কুকুরের কাছে আমাদের কুঞ্জ বন? আমরা কি ছেড়ে দেব শুয়োপোকার কাছে আমাদের বীজ ও বীজতলা? আমরা কি ছেড়ে দেব কাঠ পিঁপড়ের কাছে আমাদের মাথার মগজ? ধন্যবাদ। থ্যাঙ্কস টু অল।
Thank you, Mr. Golam Kibria Pinu, for your beautiful poem. Now I am introducing one of the promising poet from Bangladesh. He is Mr. Kushal Bhowmick. He is a popular and promising young poet from Bangladesh. He is essayist, poet, and novelist. He has 6 number of books, where 5 is poetry books and 1 is novel. He is also an editor of a little magazine named Purobi. Now coming Mr. Kushal Bhowmick to read out his first poem. Mr. Kushal Bhowmick.
Thank you, Tawfiq Johur, for giving me a chance to express my poem. And this is a wonderful show. আমি প্রথমে যেটা করব সেটা হচ্ছে আমি I will recite a poem from my language, that is in Bangla, and then I'll translate it. কবিতার শিরোনাম মা ও জ্যোৎস্নার গল্প। আমাদের সংসারে দুঃখ তখন একান্নবর্তী মেঘ, জরাজরি করে শুয়ে থাকে বিছানায়, পায়ে পায়ে হাঁটে পোষা বেড়ালের মতো, অথচ থাবায় ব্যাঘ্র স্বভাব। আমাদের পাতে তখন বউখুদ আর সজ বাটা, স্বপ্নে ভাপ ওঠা ইলিশ আর জুই ফুলের মতো ভাত। আমাদের সংসারে কালো মেঘের উৎপাত, অথচ মেঘ ফুরে উকি দিচ্ছে চাঁদ। কেননা বুকের ভেতর অমাবস্যা রেখেও মা আমাদের জ্যোৎস্নার গল্প শোনাতেন। Then sorrows were wandering like lonely clouds, and lying on the bed in a daze, walking with us as a cat paid, but the tiger nature paw. We had grained rice and bees to eat, though in dream hilsha and jasmine like rice. Our world was covered with black clouds, yet the moon is speaking through, because even keeping the darkness inside the chest, my mother used to tell us the story of moonlit nights. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kushal Bhowmick, for your beautiful poem. Now I want to introducing one of the important poet of 90s. She is Trishna Basak. She is the eminent poet, essayist, story writer, novelist, and language researcher. At present, she is secretary of Kolkata Translation Forum. Her first poem was published during 1992 in popular literary magazine Desh, whose name was Samgandho Rakter Bhitore. She was published 30 number of books, where poetry books number of 10. Rest of the publications are story book, novel, translate book, essay book, technology book, and editing book. She got some prestigious award from different platforms of literary organization in India. Now coming Trishna Basak to read out her first poem. Trishna Basak.
Thank you, Tawfiq, for giving me chance to come in this international platform to read out my poetry. My first poetry is Thanda Mangsho, Cold Meat, from our joint book of poems, my joint book of poems with Tawfiq Johur. First, I will read the Bengali original, then I will read out the English translation. Thanda Mangsho. This poem is dedicated to Sadat Hossein Manto, a very famous Urdu writer. তোমার উন্মুখ শরীরের নিচে এ শহরকে আর আগের মতো পাবে না। রাতের অন্ধকার একে চিরে চলে যাবে যেন কন্ডমবিহীন জীব, আর এ পড়ে থাকবে পারাপারহীন ফ্লাইওভারের মতো। তোমার অশ্বারোহীর মতো পুরুষাঙ্গের নিচে এ শহরকে আর আগের মতো পাবে না। কমলা লেবুর মতো স্তন দুটি ঠান্ডা যেন সদ্য ফ্রিজ থেকে বার করা। রেশম বিড়ালের মতো জনি কাঠ এখনই মাছি বসবে। রোদ ঠিকরোনো নিতম্ব বেয়ে কয়েকটি পিঁপড়ে নিজেদের মধ্যে ব্যস্তভাবে কথা বলতে বলতে উঠে যাচ্ছে। তুমি অনেক চড়াই উতরাই ভেঙে ওর বুকের ওপর মুখ থুবড়ে পড়ে আছো। ওর স্তনের সুপেয় তরল কখন শুকিয়ে গেছে বুঝতেই পারোনি। তোমার উন্মুখ শরীরের নিচে এ শহরকে আর আগের মতো পাবে না। Now the English translation. You won't find this city prostrating before your bare body, same as before anymore. The darkness of night will pierce her like a haughty jeep without condom. She will remain resigned, a flyover with both the ends out of bounds. You will no more find this city beneath your lancer-like phallus, same as before anymore. Her orange breast is frozen, just pulled off the fridge. Her velvety vagina is frigid, where flies 8 are about to settle. ascending up her dazzling haunch. Few ants are busy prattling among themselves. You have laid yourself on her bosom. After the tough journey, full of ups and downs, you never knew when the luscious liquid dried up in her teats. You won't find under your unclothed body the city same as before anymore. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Trishna Basak, for your beautiful poems. Now I would like to introduce one of the important poetess who is from New York, USA. She is Paula Shene. She is the multi-genre writer. She has children's stories. She is not only poet but also article writer, editor, publisher, avid researcher in her quest for electric knowledge. Now coming Paula Shene to read out her first poem. Paula Shene.
Yes, okay. Let's start with a woman. The poem is A Delicate Flower. Thank you for having me here. A woman is many things. Delicate, an old-fashioned term, evoking pampering and cosseting. Lovely in poems, but iron-spined women carry the future, never allowing circumstances to dictate the outcome of evolutionary whims to rule. Families held together, laced with love, overcoming pitfalls, winning few laurels, everyone at rest, she rushes to prepare for dawning. I wrote that last year. This was the year I started writing poems. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paula Shene, for your beautiful poem. Before I go to Asraf, Yazid, Yboul sir, maybe not in connection. Now I am going to Irina Shulgina. Today, I am now introducing one of the important poetess, singer, vocal teacher. She is a member of International Union of Writers and Performers. More than 300 songs have been written in different genres, hymns, which are performed by soloists and groups from different regions of Russia. There are copyright discs on the basis of the author's musical Night Cafe and the folk musical Siberian Tale, Faith, Hope, Love Sisters were created with the support of the Ministry of the Cultural of the Krasnoyarsk of the territory. Her publications are music collections in the folk style, Dewdrop, and the collection of romance. I am embroidering the days, the soul sings, voice from the sky. Poems and songs are published in literary collections in Russia and abroad. Her name found in Encyclopedia of Siberia and the Far East, and the Encyclopedia of Poems and Prose of the 21st Century, Writers of the Russian World. Now coming Irina Shulgina to read out her first poem. Irina Shulgina.
Мне очень приятно, что такая возможность появилась, творчески высказаться и повидать вас, чудесные мои поэты. Несмотря на то, что у нас уже прохладно, я передаю от сибиряков очень теплый привет. И хочу рассказать вам немножечко о своем поэтическом сборнике «Голос неба». И здесь стихи не только просто стихи, а песенный материал, который я хотела бы сейчас вам изобразить. Исполню для вас песню «Не знала бы я». Это стихи, но с мелодией. Не знала бы я печали в разлуке, не знала бы я, что тревожит сердца, как чистый ручей растворяется в скуке, как нежные звуки в дыхании певца. Какие цветы в моей душе расцветают, когда запоют хрусталем соловьи, подруга, печаль в моем сердце растает, и все это только во имя любви. Все это ты, боли, мечты, моя любовь. Не знала бы я, что в любви все непросто, не знала бы я, что так просто в любви, и чувства мои, как таинственный остров, тебя сберегу я, как чудо земли. Все это ты, боли, мечты, моя к вам любовь. Thank you.
Thank
Спасибо
you
вам
very
большое.
much. Thank you so much for your beautiful song. Now I am going to Asraf Abul Yazid sir. Now I am introducing one of the honorable poet today. He is Mr. Asraf Abul Yazid sir. He is from Egypt. He is a renowned journalist, poet, and editor. The world literature knows him with honor as his contribution of poetry editing. The Silk Road Literature series he is editing since 2016. Around world, different countries' poet speaks his name with honor. He got many awards around world in different platforms for his great contribution in literature. He authored and translated 40 books. Now coming Mr. Ashraf Abul Yazid to read out his first poem.
Thank you, Tawfiq. I will say reading only two short poems. In Arabic first. أعود إلى البيت الخاوي أدق جرس الباب كي أتذكر صدى خطواتك. قصاصات. أعود لأبحث عن القصاصات التي كتبنا فيها اسمينا واقتسمناها سويا، والوردة التي جففها الغياب في كراستي. Now I will read this short poem in English. Steps. I come back to the empty home and ring the doorbell just to remember the echo of your steps. Rain. In the heavy rain, no one feels a lonely drop. In case you need to read it, it is here. This is steps. And this will be rain. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your beautiful short poems. We are glad to hear this. Before I go to Mariia Starosta, I am reading some visitors' opinion. Many of our poets and our well-wishers are watching this program. Now I am looking. Oh yeah, Sarfraz Ahmed is here. Now I am reading. Shetu Ghosh is telling nice program. Ada Steko poet, she is watching. I don't understand the language of her, so I cannot read it. Keka Banerjee is telling lovely song. Sultan Muhammad Razzaq is telling thanks Irina, very nice performance. Mr. Abdul Razzaq is telling Shongi Achi. Now I am going to Mr. Sarfraz Ahmed to introducing you all. Finally, I will go to Mariia Starosta, but now I am going to Mr. Sarfraz Ahmed. I am introducing one of the prominent poet who is from United Kingdom. He is Mr. Sarfraz Ahmed. He has been written poetry for over 18 years and has contributed to many anthologies. His published book include poetry debut 84 pins. He has children books. He has published second collection of poetry along with Anity Tarplay. He got many prestigious awards from different places of world. We can find him at open mic event where he has shared his poetry globally. Now coming Mr. Sarfraz Ahmed to read out his first poem. Mr. Sarfraz Ahmed.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. I'm as you know, I'm a poet from the UK. Been writing for over about 20 years, and I just published my fourth book, my fourth poetry collection as well. I'm working on quite a few. This is the book that I'm reading from, Star the Pomegranate. And I'm going to read a love poem. So I don't think anyone's actually read a love poem. So I'm going to read The Way You Look Tonight. The way you look tonight, you could have been dripping in gold, staying forever young, never growing old. Preserved like a statue, a piece of art, something beautiful, living and breathing with a golden heart. To look at you may be a little too much. To look at something as beautiful as you, a gift from a Midas, a golden touch. To look at you may send me blind, for I never thought I'd live to see the day when a beauty like you I may find. Standing here before me, whispering words of love, saying she adores me. Now every time I look at you, all I want to do is shower you with gifts, diamonds and pearls. I would not stop there, for I give you the world for you, the most beautiful of girls. For what can I give to a girl already dripped in gold, apart from a lifetime of happiness and a wonderful future that is yet to unfold? I hope you like that, and there are many, many more like that to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sarfraz Ahmed, for your beautiful poem. Now I am going to Mariia Starosta, my friend. I think she is now in connect. Hello, Mariia. Yes. Finally now I am introducing one of the persuasive poet. She is Mariia Starosta. She is from Ukraine. She is a teacher of Ukrainian language and literature. She has two poetic books, Two World in 2020 and Omened with the Smell of Smoke in 2021. Her poems always gives us message. The world and the world outside of the world come to the fore in her poem. Spiritualism is found in her poems. She is a traditional poet also. Now coming Mariia Starosta to read out her first poem today. Mariia, do you hear me? I think Mariia is out of connection. After back, I will again give her the chance. I think she has.
Sorry, I
Yes,
have
yes.
bad connect.
Yes. Please read out
I
your
want
poem.
to read poetry about my land and about my life. I want to read poetry about love. У ніжності квітів, у вранішнім сонці, у шепоті вітру, у жовтім колоссі, усюди я бачу мою Україну. У ріках карпатських, батьківському домі, у трелях пташиних і в стиглому полі, усюди я чую мою Україну, оспівану в пісні.
I think again she is out of connection. When she back, I will again give her the chance. Now finally, it's turn to me. I am reading my one of I think she is back.
I want
Yes, Mariia,
to
please
read
read out.
poetry
Please.
about mother.
Yes, please.
Цього дня не пам'ятаю, як сьогодні. Сонячне тепло обіймало землю ген до краю, заглядали квітами у вікно яблуні матусині квітучі, і цвіла галявина вінком сонячного цвіту. Пелюстками обертали щиро білим тлом, то рожевим маєвом вітали, ніби промовляючи мені: все для тебе, сонце, весен храми. І матусі очі лиш одні. Thank you. I want to read one poetry in English. I write reflections of a woman.
I think again net problem. When she back, we will again give her the chance. Now, finally, I am reading one of my romantic poem, and that is, I think again she is back. I am reading one of my poem. Okay, please read out. Please read out.
Sorry, connect is very bad. We are far Ukraine from Bangladesh. I write a reflection of a woman. You can touch the hand, take and lead it, no matter what. You can touch the heart, excite the blood, forget the past and open something new. You can touch the soul, penetrate invisibly into the invisible, fill the void and give new life. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you, Mariia. Thank you for your beautiful two poems. Now I am reading one of my romantic poem. First of all, I read it in my mother language, native language, that is Bangla. Then I will translate it in English. উষ্ণতা এক কাপ কফি ও তুমি। তৃষ্ণার্ত আত্মায় এক কাপ কফি ও তোমার সান্নিধ্যে বিকেলটা আমি সাজিয়ে ফেলি অভিজাত রঙে। মিথ্যার অন্ধকারগুলো সরিয়ে জ্বালিয়ে দেই প্রেমের বাতি। যতবার তোমার কাছে পৌঁছে যাই আমার নাকে মাতোয়ারা জাগায় কাঁঠাল চাপার গন্ধ। তোমার কল্যাণিয়া মুখ দেখে ভুলে যাই কফি ঠান্ডা হতে চলেছে। প্রতিবার প্রতিক্ষণ একই ছবিতে ভাসিয়ে দেই আমার বর্তমান ও ভবিষ্যতের ওয়াদা। মেঘবালিকা, ও মেঘবালিকা, জীবনের মোহে চিরটাকাল তোমার পাশে বসেই চুমুক দিতে চাই উষ্ণ কফির উষ্ণ পেয়ালায়। Now I translate it in English. The title of the poem is You and a Cup of Coffee. A cup of coffee in a thirsty soul, and your presence, I decorate the afternoon with elegant color. Removing the darkness of falsehood, I lit the lamp of love. Every time I reach you, my sense receive the fragrance of your loving face. And I forgot the coffee gone cold. Again and again in the same picture, I float the promise of present and future. Sweetheart, oh sweetheart, I want to sit next to you forever and sip a warm cup of coffee with the fascination of life. Thank you very much. Now again I am going to Mr. Golam Kibria Pinu to read out his another poem. Now coming Mr. Golam Kibria Pinu.
Thanks. We are passing poetic time with good poems, also good poets. I would like to read one poem in English, but it is a translated poem from my poem in Bangla. Nature. How easily you opened you up, to whom you have surrendered yourself. Had not you any choice? Discarding your own wings Why do you go walking? To whom let yourself yield it? Don't you have any choice? Don't you have any liking? Don't you have any fortnights? Don't you have any affection? Don't you have any warmth? Don't you have dislike anything at all? Don't you have any refusal? Half closed, drowsy eyes, tightly shut lips, remain confined to a lonely room.
দেখ এখন আর আসছি না।
She shed tears like wailing, portraying lamenting songs. Even after that, why do you get groomed? And for whom do you get luminescent and radiant? Or slippers at your own will? Or free cloak? At one time you were Muslim or fine cloth, sometimes Banarasi or velvet, or sometimes fine woven cloth. You have many veins in your brain, multicolored illumination. You are full of sensitivity, prime knowledge, feelings, senses. You too can create 7 melodies. Why do you go far away from yourself? Why are you so tolerant? Why you are so hardworking? Why do you so composed? Why you are short of feelings? Why do you get imprisoned again and again? For whom you conceal yourself? Time and again, why do you sacrifice yourself? Fearful, fluffy, clouds are stuck in which season, in which form do you remain? Why your personality turn soiled in which nature you do not sheet your leaves in the end of night? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Golam Kibria Pinu, for your beautiful poem. Before I go to Mr. Kushal Bhowmick, I am going to reading some visitors' opinion now. Mr. Shahar Ali is telling, yes, Mariia Starosta, you gives us good message from your social and natural poem. Many thanks to you. Mr. Shahar Ali again telling, the Uddan Television is an international platform. God bless all you. কেকা ব্যানার্জি ইজ টেলিং, সঞ্চালক তৌফিক ভাইয়ের কবিতা ও সঞ্চালনা দুই খুব সুন্দর। মিস্টার শাহর আলী ইজ এগেইন টেলিং, তৌফিক ভাই মেনি থ্যাঙ্কস টু ইউ ফর ইউর গুড পোয়েম। রাজা শহীদুল ইসলাম ইজ টেলিং, পিনু ভাইকে শ্রদ্ধা জানাই, তার কদিন আগের কবিতা মানুষেরও এক্সপায়ার ডেট থাকে, ভালো লেগেছে। পোয়েট মাহফুজা অনন্যা ইজ টেলিং, দেখছি ভালো লাগছে। শাহর আলী এগেইন টেলিং, গোলাম কিবরিয়া ভাই, you gives us very sweet and great poem. It's a very good historical poem. Thank you so much. Now I am going to Mr. Kushal Bhowmick to read out his second poem. Mr. Kushal Bhowmick is coming.
Really enjoying the wonderful poetry poems as well as the beautiful song of Irina. Now I would like to present my second poem, that is from my third book, Dukkher Kono Matribhumi Nei, Sorrows Has No Motherland, from there, first in my mother tongue and then I'll translate it into English. Manushke urte din, মানুষকে উঠতে দিন, কেননা প্রতিটি মানুষ ভেতরে ভেতরে এক একটা পাখি। পরিযায়ী মেঘের মতো মানুষ ভেসে বেড়াতে চায় আত্মরচিত সুনীল আকাশে। দোহাই আপনাদের, অদৃশ্য শেকলে মানুষকে বাঁধবেন না, তাকে দিন উর্বার স্বাধীনতা। একবার, অন্তত একবার মানুষ বুঝতে শিখুক, এই সব কাঁটাতার, ব্যারিকেড, সংবিধান, নরেন্দ্র, ট্রাম্প, ওসামাদের বাইরেও মানুষের একটা আকাশ আছে, যে আকাশটি শুধুই মানুষের। মানুষকে উড়তে দিন, মানুষ বিশ্বাস করুক উন্মুক্ত আকাশটাই মানুষের মাতৃভূমি। Now I'll translate it into English. Let people fly. Let people fly, because every human being is a bird inside. Like migratory cloud, he wants to fly in his self-made sky. Don't bind people in such invisible shackles. Give them freedom to fly. Let people believe that beyond these borders, barricades, constitutions, Narendra, Trump, Osama, there is a sky, and that's only for human. Let people know that the free and infinite sky is our motherland. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kushal Bhowmick, for your beautiful poem. Now again, I'm going to my friend Trishna Basak to read out her second poem. Now coming, Trishna Basak to read out her second poem.
Thank you, Tawfiq. My second poem is Out of Reach. আমি এখন অনেক দূরে চলে এসেছি। এত দূরে কখনোই টাওয়ার থাকে না। অনেক উঁচু দিয়ে চিল উড়ে যায়, আমি গাছের নিচে বসে বসে দেখি। গাছ বেয়ে লাল পিঁপড়ের সারি, কেউ কেউ আমাকে কামড়ায়। গাছের হলুদ পাতাগুলো টুপটুপ করে খসে পড়ে। চারপাশে যেন হলুদ আগুনের বেড়া। টাওয়ার নেই, ফোন বেজেই কেটে যায়। নামটা একবার পড়ে নি, ব্যাস আমি এখন অনেক দূরে চলে এসেছি। Now the English translation by me. Out of reach. Now I have moved far away, so far that there is never any tower. The kite flies very high. I just watch out sitting idle under a tree. A line of red ants marches through the trunk. One of two even bite me. Yellow leaves fall off very gently, as if creating a fence of yellow fire around. There is no tower. The phone rings once and stops. I just glance at the name. That's all. Now I have really moved far away. Thank you.
Thank you, Trishna Basak, for your beautiful poem. Now I'm going to again United States of America to request to tell her second poem, Paula Shene. Now I'm going to Paula Shene to read out her second poem. Now coming, Paula Shene.
I'm here. I'm here.
Thank you very much.
Okay. This poem was inspired and dedicated to a poet, Nancy Nadeke. And one of the things when I started writing poetry, I had been pushed into it by a poet. And I had told him I really didn't want to do poetry. I had done it as a child. And I needed more substance. And she has a lot of substance. So I really loved her. She had written a poem one day, and it was a run. It was a marathon. Daily dilemma of daring, another marathon sharing. Yawning but unable to settle. So up we go, put on the kettle. Instead of thinking why, just do. Noting the time, things askew. Tackling the problems, one or two. Organizing, and then saying adieu. Nevertheless, when sleep comes to knock, invite it with glee. No worry of time on the clock. Gladly take the rhythm your body craves. Healing your body can. Not to time a slave, taking your slumber without setting an alarm. And soon you will see you are the charm, not allowing your schedule to rule. Deeming the health of the body will not fool. During the transformation, you are set free. Above the cares, taking control. They flee, yet in motion your body rejoices, sensing your control, loving your choices. That's the end of that one. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your beautiful poem. Now I am going to Sarfraz Ahmed to read out his second poem. Now coming Mr. Sarfraz Ahmed.
Thank you. It's been fantastic. I really enjoyed myself. That's really great. I love these events because you get to hear voices and poets from around the world. My first poem was a very romantic poem, and many times I've been called the romantic poet. So I didn't want to just put lots of romance there, but I want to give perhaps a poem about hope, and I like writing about hope and positivity, considering all the things that we have been through in the last 18 months around the world and all the things that we had to go through. Okay, so I'm going to read a poem called Thrive, again from this book called Stab the Pomegranate, and it's called Thrive. We don't just survive, we thrive in the most deadliest of terrain, like flowing water. We make our way through rocks and stone. We rapture hearts, break through rocks and bone. When all is thrown at us, when the lights go out, when the wild waters begin to rise, we don't just survive, we thrive. We hang on to wherever what we can find, to look on, to never look behind. We float on and on to shelter ourselves from the sun and rain, from bad vibes that may cause us pain. We shower ourselves with light so clear and bright, a white light that ignites a flame deep inside of us. When the world throws us from side to side, we tumble and turn, we collide, until we break through paths so brand new. We discover cracks between rocks and stone. We travel the world until we can find the path that leads us to home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sarfraz Ahmed, for your beautiful poem. We have to hear again. Now I am reading some audience comments. Poet Mahfuza Ananda is telling, congratulations all poet. Raja Shahidul Aslam is telling, Kushal Bhowmick এর জন্য শুভ কামনা. Mr. Shahar Ali is telling, Kushal Bhowmick এত শিকড়ের কবিতা শোনালে ভাই, যথার্থ লেখা যথার্থ পাঠ শুভ কামনা. Keka Banerjee is telling, দারুণ কবিতা বকুল তৃষ্ণা. Shahar Ali is telling, Kushal Bhowmick, so many roots poem, listen brother. Deepa Sabarwal is telling, brilliant, deep and touching Paula. Shahar Ali again telling, খুব ভালো লাগলো কবিতা বকুল তৃষ্ণা. Now I am going to Irina Shulgina. Now she is coming. I want to ask her what you will say this time. Will you read poem or sing a song again? Irina Shulgina is coming.
Конечно же, каждый поэт пишет о своем родном месте, и я уверена, что каждый должен, просто обязан написать о своей родине. И так обязательно же и свершилось со мной. Я написала стих, посвященный своей любимой Сибири. Это песня, но я хотела бы ее зачесть. My second poem is Siberia. Сторона моя Сибирь, милая сторонка, развернись, родная, ширь с песней звонкой. С запада до на восток пролегла землица, от острога до вострог путь продлится. Тимофеевич Ермак, атаман казачий, он, как истинный казак, жил с удачей. Покорить Сибирь решил, чтоб была свободна, от орды освободил для народа. Сколько злата, серебра, камней, самоцветов, видно, очень к нам добра земля эта. Благодатная Сибирь с Русью породнилась и на сотни тысяч миль укрепилась. Ты сурова сторона, каторжное место, но с правлением Петра всем известно. Так вынослив и силен здесь народ сибирский до нынешних времен, богатырский. Thank you.
Thank you, Irina, Shulgina. Though we don't understand the language of Russian, but the melody and sweetness of this language already touches our heart. I think so. Now I'm going to Asraf Abul Yazid sir to coming his read out second poem. Asraf Abul Yazid.
Yeah, thank you. Before reading my short poem, I'd like to thank many persons who were too good to me to translate my poems into other languages. I thank Dr. Nesreen Shakibi Mumtaz for her Persian translation, Mr. Lewis Arksenda for translation into German, and Mateen Fundukji for translating into Turkish, Nasir I'gaz for translating into Sindhi, Dr. Nadia Gamal al-Din for translating into Spanish 2 books. And I will read my poem in Arabic, and you will see it in English. Here is the poem. It says, سجن. قال المسجون الحالم للسجان الظالم: من يدريك أنك لست سجيني؟ هل تفصلنا إلا نفس القضبان؟ This was my short poem, and thank you.
Thank you very much for your beautiful, heart-touching poetry. Now I am going to Mariia Starosta to come and read out her second poem. Now coming, Mariia Starosta. Please unmute your phone. Please unmute your phone. Unmute. Please unmute your phone. Your phone is mute now. No, we are not hearing. Right. Yes. Okay, please read out.
Криниця добрих спогадів дитинства. Криниця добрих спогадів дитинства не всохла, не зміліла у роках. У пам'яті, як полотно барвисте, минулих днів не висохла ріка, крутими берегами в'ється в душу, з повитими ласкавістю й добром, коли маленьку дівчинку за руку ввела в житті праматір всіх, любов, яку пізнала з першого світання, яка горить і досі, мов вогонь, незгаслого у пам'яті багаття, дитинства, мов торкнутися долонь. Ця поезія в моїй книжці є, яка називається «Два світи». Дякую.
Thank you, Mariia Starosta, for your beautiful poem again. And finally, I'm going to read out my poem, which has to publish Asraf Abul Yazid sir, the editing books. The name of that book is The Silk Road Literature, which has published recently. I think Asraf sir has the book. Will you show the book, sir? Yes, please, Mr. Shubhan, please focusing in the highlight, please. Yes, write this book, the anthology, the ancient Egyptian modern poetry, the Silk Road Literature. I am reading my poem, which has to publish that book. The title of the poem is named. First of all, I read it in my native language, then I will translate it in English. মুখোশ মুখোশ পরে নিলাম গত রাতে, রাজা তুতেন খামেন সোনার মুখোশ পরে রাজ্য শাসন করেছেন। প্রিয়তমা নারী আনাক সেনামেনের বাহুডোরে যখন ছিলেন, তখনও মুখোশের আড়ালেই প্রকাশ করেছেন ভালোবাসার সকল সরল ধারাপাত। একটা নীল আকাশ আর মেঘ বালিকার বাম হাত শক্ত করে ধরে সাগর পাড়ি দিতে যেয়ে এই মাঝ দরিয়ায় হঠাৎ মনে হলো পিছনের অন্ধকার বুঝি চিনে ফেলেছে আমার ছায়া। আমিও রাজা তুতেন খামেনের মতো মুখোশ পরে আমার আনাক সেনামেনের বাম বাহু ধরে পাড়ি দিতে চাই সাগর আর অন্ধকারের অশুভ বিল্লির কণ্ঠস্বর। ফারাও রাজার মতো পিরামিডের হিমশীতল গুহায় রাত কাটাতে চাই না প্রভু। রাতের আকাশে তারার নাচন আর চাঁদের রোমাঞ্চকর আলোর বৃষ্টিতে ভিজতে ভিজতে আমি আমার মেঘ বালিকাকে নিয়ে অসমাপ্ত গল্পের শেষ দৃশ্য আঁকতে চাই। The title of the poem is The Mask. Last night I put on a mask, wearing a gold mask. The king Tutankhamen ruled the kingdom. Even when he took Anaxenamen, the beloved woman, to his arms, he used to express all the secrets of love behind the mask. A blue sky, and I was crossing the deep sea, holding the left hand of my beloved tightly. All on a sudden, it seemed to me the darkness at my back might recognize the shadow of mine. Me too, wearing a mask like Tutankhamen, holding the left arm of my Anaxenamen, want to cross the sea and all the bad sign of darkness. My lord, I don't want to spend night in the coolest chamber of pyramid, enjoying the dance of stars and waiting in the mysterious beams of moon. I want to finish my unfinished tale with the sweet company of my beloved, my Mekbalika. Thank you very much. Again, I am going to Mr. Golam Kibria Pinu to read out his final poem. Now coming Mr. Golam Kibria Pinu to read out his final poem.
This is your poem, Tawfiq.
Yes, sir.
This is your
Thank
poem.
you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you.
I would like to read last poem in Bangla. কবিতার শিরোনাম মানুষও মেয়াদ উত্তীর্ণ হয়ে যায়। মানুষও মেয়াদ উত্তীর্ণ হয়ে যায়, পাউরুটি, দুগ্ধজাত খাবার ও চকলেট, তারা তো তাদের গায়ে লেখা নির্ধারিত তারিখে মেয়াদ উত্তীর্ণ হয়ে যায়। মানুষের মেয়াদ উত্তীর্ণ হওয়ার হয়তো কোনো তারিখ নেই, কিন্তু মানুষও মেয়াদ উত্তীর্ণ হয়ে যায় যে কোনো দিন, যে কোনো সময়। মহাশূন্যের শাটল স্টেশন মেয়াদ উত্তীর্ণ হলে তার নাট বল্টু অন্যান্য অংশ খুলে পড়ে যায়। যে রেল গাড়িতে চড়ে গিয়ে তুমি বাড়ি পৌঁছেছো, সেও একদিন পরিত্যক্ত হয়ে পড়ে থাকে সৈয়দপুর রেল জংশনে। অন্তঃসলীলাও জলের অভাবে পেট কামড়ানো কষ্টে শুকিয়ে গিয়ে অবলুপ্ত হয়ে যায়। কোন কোন বিপ্লবী নতুন বিপ্লবের অন্তরায় হয়ে দাঁড়ায়, যার ফলে তখন আর তার গ্রহণযোগ্যতা থাকে না। কত তত্ত্ব, কত ধর্ম খারিজ ও হারিয়ে গেল সময়ের অবগাহনে। তারপরও মানুষের উপরে মানুষের কি পীড়ন! সমবেদনা, দয়া, অনুগ্রহ দিয়ে যে কাছে টেনেছিল, যে ছিল অনুগামী, যাকে কতবার আলিঙ্গন করেছ, সেও গৌণ অগ্রহণীয় হয়ে ওঠে গ্রহণকালে। যাকে দেখে অভিভূত হতে, তাকে দেখলে এখন ভূতের উপদ্রব মনে হয়। তামা শুধু তামাদি হয় না, পরিত্যক্ত অপ্রচলিত হয়ে ওঠে এক সময়ের চকচকে ঘর ও বাড়ি, পুরনো হাতিয়ার ও প্রযুক্তি। আড়াল ও অন্তরালে অন্তর্ধানের আয়োজন করে সময়ের ঘুণ পোকা, টেরে পাবে না। ভেসে যায় বর্জ্য, কুলনাশ, বিলুপ্তি ও পচন নিয়ে কালস্রোতে পরিব্যাপ্ত হয়, মেয়াদ উত্তীর্ণ হয়ে যায় সবকিছু। মানুষও মেয়াদ উত্তীর্ণ হয়ে যায়, মানুষও মেয়াদ উত্তীর্ণ হয়ে যায়। ধন্যবাদ। থ্যাংকস টু।
Thank you, Mr. Golam Kibria Pinu, for your beautiful poem. Always your poem gives us some message to change the society. Thank you very much. Now coming Mr. Kushal Bhowmick to read out his final poem. Mr. Kushal Bhowmick is coming.
থ্যাংক ইউ। পিনু ভাই যে কবিতাটি আবৃত্তি করলেন এটা সদ্য প্রকাশিত একটি কবিতা। পিনু ভাইয়ের আমি ফেসবুকে পড়েছি এবং অসাধারণ একটা কবিতা। ভালো একটা কবিতা শোনানোর জন্য পিনু ভাইকে ধন্যবাদ। নাও আই এম delivering my last poem, first in Bangla and then I'll translate it into English. This is from my third book, দুঃখের কোনো মাতৃভূমি নেই। কবিতাটির শিরোনাম আদিগন্ত ফসলের কবিতা। আমার ঠাকুরদা একজন কৃষক ছিলেন। মাটি গন্থা হাতে তিনি শস্য ফলাতেন। ধানের কাছে হৃৎপিণ্ড সমর্পণ করে তিনি শিশুর সারল্য নিয়ে দাঁড়িয়ে থাকতেন। প্রতিটি ধান তখন কবিতা হয়ে উঠত। আদিগন্ত মাঠ তখন কবিতার খাতা। আমার ঠাকুরদার মতন অমন কবি হয়ে উঠতে আমি কাউকে দেখিনি। তিনি রবীন্দ্রনাথ জীবনানন্দের চাইতেও অনেক বড় কবি ছিলেন। এমনকি শেক্সপিয়রের সনেট গুলোকেও আমার কাছে ঠাকুরদার ফসলের চাইতে বড় কবিতা মনে হয়নি। ঘাম শরীরে তিনি যখন লাঙলে চষতেন মনে হতো এক্ষুনি জন্ম নেবে পৃথিবীর শ্রেষ্ঠ কোনো কবিতা। অগ্রহায়ণে তিনি তার সোনালী কবিতাগুলো কাঁধে বয়ে এনে ঠাকুমার হাতে তুলে দিতেন। ঠাকুমা পরম যত্নে কবিতার গন্ধ শুকতেন, স্পর্শ করতেন, রৌদ্র মাখিয়ে রেখে দিতেন গোলাঘরের নান্দনিক মলাটে। আমাদের গোটা বাড়িটাই তখন হয়ে উঠত অনিন্দ সুন্দর এক কবিতার বই। আমার ঠাকুরদা শস্য গন্ধা কবি ছিলেন। আমি তার অযোগ্য পুত্র। দিন রাত শব্দের জটাকি গ্রন্থের কাছে করি আত্মসমর্পণ। প্রাজ্ঞ বিজ্ঞের কাছে ছুটে যাই কবিতা লেখার গোপন রহস্য জানতে। অথচ আমার ঠাকুরদা শুধুমাত্র ঘাম মাটি আর লাঙলে দিয়েই অনায়াসে লিখতে পারতেন আদিগন্ত ফসলের অমর কবিতা। Poetry of the primordial crops. My grandfather was a farmer. He used to plow with earthy hands. Surrendering her to the green paddy, he stood with childlike simplicity. Every single paddy then turned into a poem, and the primordial field a book of poetry. I never seen anyone to become a poet like him. He was greater poet than Tagore and Jibanananda Das. Even the sonnets of Shakespeare seems inferior before his grains. When he plowed with body sweat, it seemed a mighty poetry to be born. In Ograyon, he used to carry his poetry on shoulders and handed them over to my grandmother. Grandma would snip, toss, sun them, and with deep adoration kept them in aesthetic cover of burn. Our house would turn an impeccably beautiful books of poetry then. My grandfather was a grain-scented poet. Me, an unworthy grandson, day and night draw a tangle of words and surrender myself to books. Sometimes run to the scholars to know the secret of writing poetry. But my grandfather, only with sweat, soil, and plow, can write effortlessly the immortal poems of primordial crops. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kushal Bhowmick, for your beautiful poem. These poems shown us the present and the past generation and the present generation historical and heritage combination. Wow, the nice poetry. Now I am going to Trishna Basak to read out her final poems today. Now coming Trishna Basak.
Thank you, Tawfiq. My final poem is from my library series. আমাকে নেবে না লাইব্রেরি। আগেও ওরা অনেক লাইব্রেরি পুড়িয়ে দিয়েছে, এখনো পোড়াচ্ছে, ভবিষ্যতেও পোড়াবে। আমি এর মধ্যে অনেক কষ্টে একটা অদাহ্য লাইব্রেরি খুঁজে পেয়েছি। বইগুলো কেউ হ্রদ, কেউ নদী, কেউ বা সমুদ্র, কিছুতেই আগুন ধরে না। আমি যখন ইচ্ছে ঝাঁপ দিতে পারি। এ ভারী মজার লাইব্রেরি, যেখানে আসার সময় ব্যাগে সুইমিং কস্টিউম নিয়ে আসতে হয়। আমি ভাসতে ভাসতে পড়ি, ডুবতে ডুবতে পড়ি, সাঁতারের চিৎ, উপুর, প্রণয়রুদ্ধ ভঙ্গিমাও আমার শেখা হয়ে যায়। লাইব্রেরিতে লোকে তো শেখার জন্যই আসে, আমিও এসেছি। এতটাই নতশির যে প্রবেশের দরজাই প্রথমে খুঁজে পাচ্ছিলাম না। না, তারপর দেখি কোনো দরজাই নেই। এটা একটা ওপেন লাইব্রেরি, সবুজ সিরাপের মতো ছোট ছোট বনবিথি দিয়ে ঘেরা। তাই অনেকেই প্রথমে ঢোকার দরজা খুঁজে পায় না। আমি পেয়েছি। আমি অনেক দূরের এক গ্রহ থেকে হাঁটতে হাঁটতে এখানে এসেছি পাঠ করে তৃপ্ত হব বলে। আমাকে নেবে না লাইব্রেরি? Now the English translation. Won't you take me, library? They have burnt a lot of libraries. They still do and always will. And in the midst of these, I have finally found a fireproof library. Some of the books here are lakes, some rivers, and some oceans. I dive in wherever I want. What a fun library where you can go to bring a swimming suit. Every time you come, I read while I float. I read while I drown. Backstroke, front stroke, butterfly stroke, even the love-locked stroke have I learned. People come here to learn, so am I. So bent was my head, I could not find for the life of me the entrance. Then I realized there was no entrance to begin with. It was an open library. Like little boulevards surrounded it like green syrup. So it gets somewhat hard to find, but I find it. From another planet have I walked here to this place to read to my heart's content. Won't you take me, library? Thank you all. I think poetry will bridge every gap between us and will make the world little better and little lovable place.
Thank you.
I wish
Thank you, Trishna, for that.
all of them very
I will give you.
good
I
and
will give you. I will give you 1 minute last time to say something. Okay, please don't go now.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to Paula Shene to read out her final poems today. Now coming Paula Shene.
I'm here. This poem is based on Shakespeare. We had been giving a prompt to do something on him, and we're right in the middle of the pandemic. And I went and I read about him. I do this a lot with the different poets. Examine my poetry. This refers to Shakespeare, not to me. It refers to Shakespeare. Eventually, pestilence will call. X'd out, will you too fall? Amid the plague I was born. My verses tell the story as it returns. In my time, twice more. My pen burns, needed words, understand them. Emotions are driven by situation stems. Much time closed doors, giving to write. You now understand, read my verses right. Plague sharpened my vision. Death is a given. Overlaid for all to see how precious is this prism. Every moment used to teach the masses, treating as entertainment. But put on your glasses, reading with knowledge of life's knocks. You will comprehend. I wrote to and despite the pox. That's my last poem.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your beautiful poem. Now again, I am going to Sarfraz Ahmed to read out his final poem. Now coming Mr. Sarfraz Ahmed to read out his final poems today.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. This has been absolutely fantastic. I've really enjoyed myself. I'm going to read a poem from the first book, which was published only last year. So, you know, from this one, the 84 Pins collection, and it's about it's called Fade, and yeah, it's about, well, you'll know what it's about, but it's called Fade. You shall never fade nor crumble. You'll stay forever young. Your face will be immortalized before my eyes. For I want to remember you the way you are, a bright, shining star, a glory in the dark, a spark that shone in the darkest of time. At night I feel you pulling me closer. At night I can feel your heart beat next to mine. For a moment it feels like we are together for just one more time. But no one dries my eyes when I wake. No one holds me when I shake. The very thought of you helps me survive, keeps me alive, day after day, night after night. The very thought of you remains forever young, forever strong in this heart of mine. In my heart you'll never fade, my love, nor die. For I believe that one day two hearts will beat as one, will stand hand in hand once more, before the world, before everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your beautiful poem we have here again. Now I'm going to Irina Shulgina for her last delivery today. The title of our program was The World of Poetry Recitation in Poet Voice Part 7. This is the ending moment. So I'm going to Irina Shulgina to read out her final poem or sing. Now coming Irina Shulgina.
Я уверена, что у каждого из поэтов обязательно есть стихотворение о маме. И сейчас я хотела бы посвятить этот стих своей мамочке, которой в этом году исполнилось 75 лет. Так что я рада, что мы сегодня можем прикоснуться к нашим любимым, родным людям. Итак, маме. Я всегда как будто в колыбели, ведь со мной любви твоей тепло. Мама, мама, вьюги и метели улеглись давным-давно. Для меня ты самая родная, я еще не раз тебе скажу, лишь тебе любви не понимая, я все тайны расскажу. Говорила, буду непослушной, убегала легким ветерком, но всегда ты знала, что мне нужно, лишь руки твоей тепло. Знаю, что всегда меня ты примешь, даже если буду не права. Как всегда, всем сердцем ты обнимешь, нужные найдешь слова. Сердце словно камень остывает, если вдруг и что-нибудь не так. Только пусть любовь твоя не тает, остальное все пустяк. Только пусть любовь твоя не тает, остальное все пустяк. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Irina Shulgina. We are very much impressive to hear your song. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to final time to Asraf Abul Yazid sir to read out his last poem today.
Yes, my last poem is about a glass. You filled my glass with eternity, asking me to drink. It is a sign of British taste but my heart was in coma, looking for real perfume. A moment later, you broke the glass. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your beautiful, meaningful poem. Now, finally, I'm going to Mariia Starosta. I think she's not in connection. So finally, when she connect, we will go for her. I'm going to Mr. Golam Kibria Pinu to know about the opinion of today's program. Only 1 minute, sir. Mr. Golam Kibria Pinu.
Thank you to all. I'm very glad to join this program. We know now internet opened a new window to close poets country to country. In this connection, we are organizing this type of poetry program to develop our solidarity, peace, and friendship through poems. So it is a good initiative by Mr. Poet Tawfiq Johur, especially thanks to him. And lastly, I say, in future we will join this type of program. And best luck to all, and good wishes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Golam Kibria Pinu, for your beautiful speech delivery. Mariia Starosta, do you hear me? Mariia, do you hear me? Hello, Mariia. Mariia, do you hear me?
Hello.
Yes. Please
Yes.
deliver your final poem. Deliver your final poem.
Я хочу,
Last poem. Your last poem.
я хочу прочитати поезію про свою землю. Вона увійшла в другу збірку, називається збірка «Жінка із запахом диму». І ця поезія перекладена на бенгальську мову вашим поетом Зафаром Аламбхайном. Хочу її прочитати. Обернуся лицем до своєї землі, до лісів і
I think again she is disconnected. Now I am going to already Kushal Bhowmick is disconnected. Now I am going to Trishna Basak to know the opinion about today's program.
до своєї
Trishna
землі,
Basak.
до лісів і до гір обернуся. Виуси повік, і оті журавлі, що над хатою зрітуся. Обернуся ще раз і поїду туди, де життя вимагає ходити. Тільки в серці моїм, як краплину води, найчистішу любов не скорити. Дякую. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariia Starosta, for your beautiful poem. Now, we want to know the opinion about today's program from Trishna Basak. 1 minute only. Now coming Trishna Basak. 1 minute only. Trishna Basak, do you hear me? Now coming Mr. Kushal Bhowmick to know the opinion about today's program. Only 1 minute. Mr. Kushal Bhowmick.
Tawfiq Johur, and I'm showing my gratitude that you have given me the chance to present me over there. And now online platform has made poetry absolutely a global phenomena, and we realized the intensity, especially in this pandemic moment. So I think poetry has a universal tone and universal melody, which always work as a breeze, that already said by Trishna and others. So I'd like to thank everyone, and I'd like to welcome you to Bangladesh, because it is a very small globality now, so it is not very difficult to visit Bangladesh. So I would like to welcome you to visit my country, and we'll work together. We'll fight against injustice and oppressions through poetry. Poetry will be in our heart forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kushal Bhowmick, for your beautiful and important speech. Now I am going to, I think Trishna Basak is here. Trishna Basak is here.
Yeah.
Yes. Now coming Trishna Basak to deliver her opinion about today's program. Trishna Basak is coming.
Last time I could not join the program due to technical fault, but so I was waiting to join you, and I could do this. And I hope through poetry we can make the world a better place to live in. We can send message of love and peace through poetry, and actually poetry has no other language. The language is poetry. We don't have Spanish or English or Bangla. Poetry has an universal language. Poets speak in that universal language. We can all feel each other poets. So I think we can make the world a better place. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you very much.
And
Thank you, Trishna Basak, for your
festive season has already started. I wish all the you please enjoy and enjoy your living and enjoy your poetry and enjoy your festival. Thank you.
Thank you, Trishna Basak, for your important speech delivery. Now I am going to Paula Shene to know about the opinion of today's program. Now coming Paula Shene.
I am here. I did want to say that Trishna really has it right, because I was listening to the English poet tree, and I could understand that. I cannot understand any other language. I'm English and I'm American and I'm ignorant. But the cadence, I was sitting here and I was listening to the cadence of the voices, and even when they were not in English, it was very moving. So I think she has it right there. You know, our poetry does reach across the borders and touches one another. And it's nice when it's put into our language, but it's nice to get ours into other languages too. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for your beautiful speech delivery. Now I'm going to Sarfraz Ahmed to know the opinion about today's program. Mr. Sarfraz Ahmed.
Well, I think it was absolutely fantastic because, as everyone says, I think through technology we've been able to connect. I'm here in the UK, everyone's around the world, and we've been able to connect through poetry. And I think through the pandemic and through this period, I think we as creative thinkers and poets have been kind of pulled together. And I've written with a lot of people from around the world, and I'm very, very proud. I love the voices. I love your poetry. I love listening to people that I've not listened to before. And so I'm really, really excited. So I think this event has been fantastic. And I think it showcased that poetry can bring people together because it's a universal language. The language is, of course, poetry. So I look forward to the next event. And thank you for inviting me. I feel so honored and humbled. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sarfraz Ahmed, for your beautiful speech delivery. Now I'm going to Irina Shulgina from Russia to know about the opinion of today's program. Irina Shulgina, 1 minute only.
Мне очень приятно, что мы сегодня собрались в этом замечательном месте сетевом. И несмотря на то, что мы очень далеко друг от друга, я уверена, что мы обязательно еще встретимся благодаря возможности такой, как вот сейчас. Спасибо. Thank you, Бангладеш.
Thank you, Irina.
Да.
Thank you very much
Подождите.
for your...
И еще хочу сказать, что да, настроение должно быть у всех обязательно отличное, потому что оно заряжает, дает возможность дальше жить и радоваться каждому лучику солнца, каждой улыбке. И сейчас я хотела бы исполнить песню «Настроение». Ты возьми с собой настроение, да такое, что пела душа. Посмотри вокруг, без сомнения, хорошо жить и жизнь хороша. Пусть ветра разлук, пусть неверный друг, но сомнения прочь. Я хочу помочь, даже если ты черный косяк, знай, что же детям будет пустяк. Передай привет тем, кто хмурится и сгущает все краски вокруг. Кто от ярких дней вечно хмурится, у кого вдруг сломался каблук. Вам и невдомек, жизнь дает урок, и сомнения прочь. Я хочу помочь, даже если все наперекосяк. Все пройдет, знай, что это пустяк. Thank you, Bangladesh.
Thank you. Thank you very much for
Хорошо.
your beautiful finishing. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to Asraf Abul Yazid sir to know the opinion about today's program.
Thank you. You took me for 90 minutes on the Silk Road of poems with great poets and also great voices. Хорошо, Irina, and thank you for all poets and poetesses tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I'm going to Mariia Starosta. I think she's not connected. I think she is connected now.
До свидания всем, до свидания, всего
Mariia,
хорошего.
thank you. Mariia, do you hear me? Mariia, do you hear
Thank
me?
you very much. I'm good.
Thank you. Now coming Mariia Starosta to tell something about today's program.
Thank
opinion.
you very much.
Thank you very much. Finally, we have to reach the final destination now. My friend Krishna Basak told few times before that the language of poetry is one, that is the universal language. So many languages we have uses today, but one language is one, that is the poetry language, and all of we are the poetry worker. So togetherly we are working, and together we will be work last time more and more times. So today this program will be finished now, but next time again and again we will invite you. Hope you will be joined and enjoy this program very much. So good evening, good night, and good morning to the globe. Finally finish the program. Thank you very much from Russia, from United States of America, from UK, from Missouri, Egypt, Cairo, and from Ukraine, from India, and finally from my native country, Bangladesh. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful time. Enjoy every moment. Enjoy with poetry. Thank you very much.